Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Coons, one of the reference librarians at the Haverford Township Free Library with your Monday, August 24 Reading with Reference. Today, I want to talk to you about a book called 101 Organic Gardening Hacks, Eco-Friendly Solutions to Improve Any Garden by Shauna Coronado. I was attracted to this book. It's a relatively new title at the library, and I just loved the cover art. I found it very colorful, and I'm also a sucker for how-to books that are laid out simply with a lot of visuals, and this book fit the bill. So the author talks about a hack. She defines a hack as a creative way of breaking the rules to accomplish something, a clever trick that saves cash for the thrifty or solves a problem elegantly. So the book is divided into, I think, 11 sections, each addressing a different type of gardening issue. And there were lots of things, lots of stuff on composting. The focus is really on, for her, so there are lots of books about gardening hacks or gardening problems and problem solving. And this one has a focus on reusing and recycling and more of a sustainable way of gardening and growing things. So I am going to show you some very DIY looking photographs I took of some pages that I thought were interesting, as if you were kind of leafing through the book with me. So the first part is called Dirty Rotten Hacks, and it talks about using compost, a lot of information on compost, a percolation test where you pour 2 bucketfuls of water into your soil after digging a 12-inch hole, and you time how long the water drains, and that'll tell you what kind of retention your soil has for growing plants. That might be better for plants that are drought tolerant, or plants that are, like a wet soil, that kind of thing. None of this stuff costs a lot of money. It does take, some of these hacks take some time and creativity and a little bit of know-how. I wouldn't do some of them, but let's look a little bit. These are 2 simple, that page didn't turn out very well, but anyway, using Epsom salt, which is a very cheap, you could just get it at your local drugstore, and I've used it actually to help support my pepper plants. But you just soak it in, you make a little slurry of it with water, or not quite a slurry, but a solution, and you can pour it in your garden, and it can help a lot of different kinds of plants. And then this I thought was interesting, make a poor man's Ola. You can't see, but it's OLLA, which is you just take a milk jug and you punch holes in it and put it in your garden bed, and you take off the lid, and you can use it as a great way of watering your plants in a way that where your plants can uptake more easily, because it's not like washing away the soil. You can also put different kinds of fertilizer and plant foods in these things well. So it's a way to recycle your plastic milk jugs and use them in your garden. So I thought that was kind of cool. This chapter also talks about coffee grounds and how great they are, how they can be really great as a mulch or as a soil amendment. And it's easy to get them at your local Starbucks. You can just go in and ask for their spent coffee grounds, and they usually have tons. Or if you drink a lot of coffee, you can save your own coffee grounds. Also, non-insecticidal interventions for things like earwigs, slugs, Japanese beetles. So, yeah. And then there was stuff about planting pollinator plants, which are great because most of them are or can be used as herbs. Most of them are edible. Letting your herbal plants go flower when you're done using them, because most beneficial insects really love the flower. They love pollinating the flowers on herbal plants like basil and thyme, oregano, for example. What else? Okay, I love this. This page is taken from the seed and seedling chapter, and it talks about making a mini nursery out of one of those rotisserie chicken containers, which I always feel bad when I get a rotisserie chicken because I don't know the plastic and it's greasy, and you recycle it, and if you wash it, you can't get the grease out, and then it won't recycle. I don't know, but you can use it. You can use it as a little mini greenhouse for your seedlings. You can cover, you can plant, you can punch little holes in the top there. So I like that idea of reusing and recycling something. Also, container hacks included using coffee filters on the bottom of your planters or planter pots to keep the soil from washing out. Planting, if you have a brick wall or a cement wall in somewhere in your yard, you can actually shove up planting soil in there and plants, and you can actually grow some plants within those walls. I thought that was kind of an interesting idea. If you have a stump in your yard, and you can actually kind of pick out some of the wood and plant and use that as a planter. That involved a chainsaw possibly, which I wouldn't feel safe using at all, even holding onto one. Some of these garden hacks take a little more time and I think a lot more maybe engineering skill, but most of them are pretty simple, and I like that. So what else was really cool? I love this idea of using grocery store items. Oh, I guess I didn't include that picture. There was a picture that I had. Yeah, whoops. Well, this is an example right here. Plant grocery store potatoes. So if you buy your potatoes, and I especially works if you have organic potatoes, because they don't have as much of the fungicides and insecticides on the skin. You can cut little pieces of them and use them as potato starts in your garden. It also might work if you buy your potatoes from a local farm market, because then there's even less like fungicides probably on them. So I thought that was a neat idea. And there was also a little page on just growing, like using a lot of supermarket scraps, like the bottoms of onions or just different, like cutting up different things. So I thought that was cool. That was in one of the chapters. And then this page on the right is taken from Landscape Hacks. And so I thought this was kind of neat, because if let's say you drink a lot of wine and you have a lot of wine bottles and you have a place to store all the wine bottles, you could collect them and make, if you look closely here, I'm kind of trying to circle it, but this is an edging that's made of upside down wine bottles. And I thought that was a really creative thing to do. So the book is full of tips and tricks like that. As you can see, the page layout there's a lot of visuals, photographs, easy to read instructions, and I love how-to books because they, make me feel like I have some control over of a little part of my, they're very aspirational, like, oh, I could do this. So, and there are a lot of things in this book that I think are pretty simple that people can do. So if you really like to garden, or just love looking at pictures of little gardening things and ideas and tips and tricks, I recommend this book, 101 Organic Gardening Hacks, Eco-Friendly Solutions to Improve Any Garden. All right. Thanks so much. See you next time.